Yuna and Minsu sat quietly, wondering if Wobin and Sunjin had finally reconciled. Yuna turned to Minsu and asked if she thought they had worked things out. Minsu smiled and nodded, reassuring her that everything was probably fine and they should just wait for them to arrive. Soon, Wobin and Sunjin appeared. Wobin, full of energy, shouted, "Let the party begin!" He looked at Yuna and Minsu and asked why they seemed so serious, reminding them they were on vacation and should loosen up. Sitting beside Yuna, he leaned in and asked if she was okay or needed anything. Yuna simply smiled and said she was just glad he was all right. Sunjin sat next to Minsu, gently placed his hand on her belly, and asked if she was feeling okay. Minsu nodded and returned the question, asking if he and Wobin had managed to talk things out. Sunjin confirmed they had resolved everything and apologized for making her worry. Holding her hand, he looked into her eyes and said all he wanted now was for them to enjoy their time together. Minsu then mentioned that Wobin's friends had come earlier to harass them, saying unpleasant things. Yuna agreed and questioned why Wobin would associate with someone like that. Wobin defended his friend, saying he wasn't a bad person, just too blunt and lacking a filter. Sunjin chimed in, admitting he had never liked the guy, especially back in high school. He explained that the friend had always been jealous of his close bond with Wobin and seemed not to have changed at all. Wanting to shift the mood, Wobin suggested they go for karaoke later. Sunjin replied that he wanted to take Minsu somewhere first, but that they'd join them afterward. Curious, Minsu asked where they were going. Sunjin whispered that it was a surprise and reassured her it wasn't anything materialistic. Minsu laughed at how sweet he sounded and took his hand, saying she couldn't wait to see what he had planned. As they sat together, laughing and chatting, a girl noticed Wobin and walked over and exclaimed that it's been so long since they saw each other. Wobin stood up to greet her with a warm hug, joking that she was the one who had vanished. The girl teased him, saying he was the one who took her number and never called. She added that she had been waiting all this time for a call or a text. Yuna watched them, visibly jealous as the two flirted. Before leaving, the girl leaned in and said that if he was free, they should meet for a drink sometime. When Wobin sat back down, Yuna looked at him and remarked that he seemed to know a lot of women. Wobin chuckled and replied that he was just friendly with everyone, which was why people liked him. Yuna, still looking at Wobin, asked if he had already forgotten what he promised her when he was still in the hospital. Wobin, trying to recall, asked her to remind him. Frustrated, Yuna stood up and walked away. Wobin, now confused, looked at Sunjin and Minsu and asked if he had done something wrong. Sunjin laughed and said they didn't know what the promise was between them, but it was clear Yuna was upset. Minsu added that he should go and check on her. Wobin quickly stood up and excused himself. He walked around looking for Yuna but couldn't find her. Spotting his friend sitting with his girlfriend, Wobin approached and asked if he had seen Yuna. The friend said no. As Wobin turned to leave, he remembered what Minsu had said earlier. Turning back, he told his friend to apologize to Minsu and Yuna for the things he said. His friend laughed, insisting he was standing up for Wobin and meant no harm. Wobin stepped closer, looking him in the eye, and said he should apologize because they clearly didn't take it well, and that he hadn't asked him to stand up for him. As he turned to walk away again, the guy called out and questioned why Wobin still cared about Minsu when she didn't choose him. He insulted her, saying she was just taking advantage of Wobin's kindness, and added that Wobin could have ended up dead trying to protect someone who wouldn't do the same for him. Wobin's face changed. Hearing him call Minsu a bitch made his blood boil. He quickly turned and punched the guy in the face. Looking down at him, he told him to go apologize, unless he wanted things to get worse. Then he walked away, leaving his friend holding his bruised cheek.